When I think back to the time of Selma, I was in a spiritual condition the whole time. Far and away the most memorable time of my life.
Were you frightened at times, or what?
Never. Including when I looked down the hill and saw the people that knew they were going to beat the shit out of me, if not kill me. I felt zero fear. And when I said, oh shit, I think I'm in trouble, it was like saying, I think it might rain today. I was in a spiritual place the whole time I was down there. We met with a group that had marched all the way from Selma out of a barren field that was a Roman Catholic summer camp. And from there, we marched in to the capital, state capital. We went through both a black and a white neighborhood. When we went through the black neighborhood, people lined the streets and they said, oh, thank you, and they were just very exuberant. When we went through the white neighborhoods, evil, angry silence, not a word. When we got into it in front of the Capitol, it looks very similar to the Rhode Island State Capitol, the big building up on the hill. On the front left, as we looked at it, was the Stars and Bars, the Confederate battle flag. And way back in the back, behind the Capitol building, way back in the back on a short flagpole, was the American flag. And I said to myself, John, you're in a foreign country. I had this overpowering feeling, and I'm going to cry before I had this overpowering feeling I needed to go down to the town of Selma. But there was no transportation. So I decided to go out to the city of St. Jude, the Roman Catholic summer camp where we had gathered. And in order to get there, I had to go up in my New England voice, ask locals, how do I get to the city of St. Jude? All the odds said I should have gotten there and been out just in the field, all alone, stuck, in a foreign country that hated me. I mean, the map said they were a part of America, but they weren't. They were a foreign country. But when I got there, there was a man, a clergyman from the West Coast that had come to work there, and he had to help out, and he had come to pick up all the clothing that had been left behind. So I had about a 15-minute window when I could have gotten a ride to Selma, or when I would have been stuck right in the middle of a country that hated me. So I've always considered that the first evidence right then of divine time. When I got this ride from the city of St. Jude down to Selma, we saw what we thought was a car wreck on the side of the road. We drove by, but that was the woman, Violet Loiseau, I believe was her name. She was a white woman who had a black boy riding with her, and they had shot her because she had killed her.
When you were helping out, they asked you to go and pick up a guy who had been arrested into a small...
Oh yeah, they told us there was a guy who was in jail, and so there were, I think, 4 of us in the car, 2 in front and 2 in back. And every time a car would come up from the back and to pass us, the conversation in the car died down. No one said anything.
Because the car was racially mixed?
Yeah, and we didn't know but what they were going to be running us off the road and teaching us a lesson. We picked up the guy at the jail, bailed him out. He said, you have another one of your people there we didn't know about. He said, but every night the sheriff and his deputy came in and discussed whether or not they ought to shoot us. And it was a serious discussion. And this deputy sheriff, as a matter of fact, later, not when I was down there, there was a black minister who had been gathering and getting filled out voter registration forms for people. As he was walking up the stairs of the courthouse, to bring them, This deputy walked up and shot him dead. And at his trial, he was acquitted on the grounds of self-defense. We were meeting at a fairly large church, which was a black church, and it was on the main road of Main Street of Selma. The word came around, the Klan is out, the Klan is out, stay away from the windows. Well, as you know, John, my life has been largely affected by curiosity. So I went down on the street, and I could see down at the end of the very, very end of the street, the car that looked like an FBI car. Now, it turns out the FBI was not friendly, because the FBI was run by J. Edgar Hoover. Never trust a man who uses his middle name. I spent that night as the guest of a black family, and he was polishing my shoes. In the morning, and I was so embarrassed by it, but he wanted a way to say thank you. And so I had to acknowledge it was very nice of him. One of the most memorable experiences I had down in Selma, it was Sunday morning. We were going to go to church and integrate the church, but it was early. So I was curious. So I decided to explore some of my own. When I was getting ready to start walking, around the corner came a 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old car with 4 17 or 18-year-old white guys in it. And they stopped. And I remember distinctly saying, oh shit, I think I'm in trouble. And I remember not having any emotion at all about it, but I just figured they were going to beat me up and maybe kill me. But I started walking down the hill, and when I got down there right close to them, the guy in the right front seat rolled the window down, and he said to me, can you tell us how to get to someplace? And I thought, are you kidding? I'm out of town and you live here. And I said to him, I'm sorry, I'm a stranger myself. And they said, okay, thank you. And they rolled the window up and off they went. And I thought, that was very curious, because that wasn't what they planned on doing. A number of years later, Joan and I were reading a book about angels. And particularly how angels had appeared to some people and helped them when they were in danger. And I said, you know, an explanation that would make sense to me is that when I got down there to that car, if they saw one or more very large creatures standing behind me, guarding me, that would be consistent with their behavior. So I said, I think I was saved by an angel.